Hello, my name is Samuel Warwick. I have autism. The entertainment industry has been a huge part of my childhood. So by being inspired to see other entertainment podcasters interviewing other people from television shows, I decided to do one myself. To know about some funny behind the scenes, bloopers, and some stuff that we probably didn't know about while they were making the certain type of show. This is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. Let's go to the podcast now. All right, we're on and we're recording now. All right, everyone, here we go. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick, episode 41. We made it far past 40 now, and there we go. We made it. I can't believe it. We made it. So
Congratulations.
Yeah, but thank you. But anyway, thank you. That was our guest there, but we'll get to him in a minute. But if this is your first time watching my podcast, well, welcome. My name is Samuel Warwick. Yeah. What? Did you say anything, Martin? Martin Krep?
That was an echo.
Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, okay. Anyway, if this is your first time watching, welcome. My name is Samuel Warwick. And whether this is your first episode or, if this is, you're just coming back, well, welcome. And welcome either way. But anyway, I have at least 4 co-hosts with me today. We have, of course, Martin Krep.
Hello.
And we have 2 returning from our last episode. We have David Brodsky and Kianna
Hello, everyone.
And Kianna Johnson.
Kianna Scott, hello.
Yeah. And of course, you guys haven't really seen this dude in a very long time. So this has been, you haven't seen this guy in a long time. For unknown reasons, I can't display why. But okay, but he is back. He hasn't been back since we had Ricky Boy, which was episode 9, which was episodes ago. It's, of course, Jimmy Hayden.
What's up? It's been far too long.
I'm going to ask this to everybody. How is everybody doing on this fine day?
Excited,
Good.
honestly.
I'm feeling
excited.
good. How about you, Sam? How are you feeling?
I am doing well, guys. I am doing well today. Thank you very much. And I am very excited for our guest we're about to interview today because this guest, even though I didn't, it was in an era of Thomas where, it wasn't the greatest era, but it was still good. I still watched it regardlessly because I was still a massive fan of the show. So whether it was good or bad, I still watched it regardlessly. But this dude has also first of all, this dude is an American. Sorry about the study, but an American that lives over in the UK, just like some of our past guests were. So and he's a voice-over artist and voice actor, and all that. He has voiced in many video games, such as of course, Pac-Man World 3, and I got a Pac-Man shirt on, but you guys will be able to see that when you get full access. So he's voiced, and he's also done a couple of Marvel things as well, such as the Lego Marvel video games as well. So that's very exciting as well.
He's also voiced a couple of additional voices in the Xenoblade Chronicles saga.
Mm-hmm.
And he also did the voice of one of my favorite characters.
Yes. He's done he's done multiple
Green
characters for that. Oh, what show, David? What show did you say?
Cubus.
Oh, Cubus. Oh, okay. But most of you guys probably know him most for his voice acting for he is the U.S. voice, the North American voice of Thomas and Percy for the CGI series of Thomas the Tank Engine, of course, as well as some off characters that he did throughout the Nitrogen and the early 2 parts of the Ark era of Thomas the Tank, which is the Miller and the Brenner era. But
he also got to voice, if my memory serves me correctly, he also got to voice Diesel at some point.
What?
Oh yeah, he did.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
he did for only a few seasons, taking over after
Wow.
Michael Brandon left himself, which was a little bit of a disappointment, but and
I
also
think
he was
did a
Pac-Man.
good Diesel.
And
Thanks.
I got the game here, but I'll show this off later. I got of course he's done Pac-Man World 3, like I said before. But anyway, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and get into the guests. We have, of course, Martin T Sherman.
Wow.
Woo!
Thank you very
Yay.
much. What an introduction. Wow. My head's so big, I don't know if I'll be able to leave the room after all that.
Oh my god.
Oh my
god.
goodness.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. First of all, I don't disrespect you regards about your Thomas at all. And I
Okay.
was not trying to say that your Diesel was bad. I think it was just disappointing around the time when he left, when Michael Brandon left. I didn't really,
Yeah.
He was my narrator. He was my narrator because Michael Brandon, actually before you came, he did all the characters. So
Yeah.
before you came in, so that means he took over Alec Baldwin and George Carlin and of course Ringo. So
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll probably get into more of that. So like I said, I like to ask everybody their story about their story, like, and so maybe you can just introduce yourself, maybe explain how you got into how you traveled over there to London and doing stuff over there. So go ahead, why don't you share your story? Just tell a little bit about yourself, and yeah.
Well, I grew up in St. Petersburg, Florida, and
Yes.
that's where I got my first acting job. I did my first acting job, which was a stage show when I was 10 years old. It was called Table Settings, and it was sort of a family drama that was about a Jewish family that was multi-generational and just trying to come to grips with this modern world. And I was playing a young boy who was going through his bar mitzvah. So every night I would go through my bar mitzvah. I then trained at an arts magnet high school called the Artistically Talented Program. It became the Pinellas County Center for the Arts. And then I went to university and got a BFA in writing for drama. And I just graduated maybe 6 months before, and I thought that my girlfriend and I thought we would have a little bit of an adventure and travel around Europe. And her father lived here in London.
Wow.
And we stayed for a couple of weeks, and he sort of started introducing us to people, and he was like, we really would like you to stay a little bit longer before you go to Europe. And in that little period while we were staying here, long story short, I got offered a job as a writer for a games company.
Yeah.
And that sort of started the whole ball rolling. I was working on it. It was kind of a sad story because the games company was writing for the Commodore 64 Amiga market, and that went belly up.
Nice.
And so the company
Yeah.
sort of went, oh, we can't really adjust all of the material that we've already got. We don't have enough money.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
by that point, I'd established residency here, and I was starting to work as an actor, and life happened.
Yeah.
It's really so cool and amazing and fascinating.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Becoming a great voice actor. And I also have this question. Another film. What was it like doing the voice for Thomas and Percy in the Thomas and Friends film, Hero of the Rails?
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
That
right.
was actually
Yeah,
the
you did.
first English voice cast production they ever did.
Yeah, because I was talking to Glenn about it too, and yeah, they said that you guys did various characters. So yeah, how was it? Yeah, like I said, how was it like trying to take over from what Michael Brandon was doing that he did for so many years, and trying to how did you get notified that Thomas was going into this separate voice thing? I mean,
I had met David Lane and David Mitten prior because
Okay.
I was cast as the lead in something called Orsum Island. And that was going to be their like new project after they left Thomas.
Mhm.
And we got to be really good friends, and they were really lovely people. And I hadn't actually had much experience with Thomas before I met them. And then they were like, this is where we came from. This has been a big thing. And so I started watching a few episodes. And then unfortunately, David passed away
Yes.
mid first show.
Yes.
And then just a couple of years later, the auditions came out for Thomas. We knew what was coming. I mean, there were lots of non-disclosure agreements, so we couldn't, let fans know. But we knew what was coming. And it was such an honor because I'd found out all about the show and I'd been watching it just to kind of get to grips with what they were talking about. So it was really special and it was really sweet. The recording itself was fantastic. There's a logistical thing with doing animation. It's expensive to get everyone in the room at the same time. So often when you're doing animation or video games, you'll be working alone, and if you happen to be the first person that they're recording from the whole session, you're just acting into a void. If you do it later on, they'll play the other actors in for you, so you get a chance to react to things.
Yeah.
But in the first Hero of the Rails, in the first season of Thomas, we were all in the same room. We could work off of each other. It was very sparky and wonderful, and there was some. David was David Bedella was on that.
Okay.
Got a chance to
Yes,
meet
He is
him, and
a very
Togo.
talented actor.
Very talented people. Yeah. So go ahead.
You guys,
I have a question, if it's okay.
Please.
I guess my question would be, well, you did these voice acting for Thomas the Tank Engine. I have to ask, who do you think would have been your favorite character that you voice acted as on the show?
I mean, I had a lot of fun doing Percy and Thomas, but there was a lot of fun doing Diesel because
Of course.
he was so he could have this
Diesel was my
range,
favorite.
Thomas
Oh my
was always
God.
kind of nice. Percy
Yeah.
was kind of sweet, but
Yeah.
Diesel.
Diesel was another story.
yes.
Yeah, most of it. We recently had we recently had Mr. Sam Blewett, and he explained about singing the songs in the Thomas show.
Yeah.
You want to know what I personally feel is one of my favorite performances by Sherman?
Yeah.
That would have to be the 2014 film Tale of the Brave.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
really
I think I have it.
You
here.
really got to show like next level emotion as Thomas and Percy in that film.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
That's
was-
one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And one of the other ones that I thought was really good was Day of the Diesel, and there was so much really.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is a
yeah,
show
that
that
was-
is,
I'm saying.
primarily pitched for people who are smaller and who have very raw emotions. You had to be careful. You didn't want to scare them,
No.
But there was like fire in Day of the Diesel. There was some really serious stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you liked Tale of the Brave too. That was a
Yeah.
fun
Oh,
one.
it was my
Yeah.
favorite Tale of the Brave for me.
I liked I liked Blue Mountain Mystery and Hero of the Rails. I like those. Those are really fun.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yes.
I
Tale
did
of the
like
Brave really
that-
meant a lot to me.
I did like the film
Oh,
you
wow.
also did, Thomas and Friends, Tale of the Brave. That was a great film. And go through that voice acting life, and Kate Harbour, who did the voice of Dizzy in Bob the Builder, that she got inspired. But also, you were also in the classic show. The Tigger and the Snow. So what was that like?
Oh wow. Well, it was a real honor to get a chance to meet Roberto Benigni. I'm a fan of Tom Waits, and so Down by Law is a favorite film. It was a pretty crazy experience. They flew us down to Tunisia, so we were in this little town called Gafsa, in the southern end of Tunisia, at it was a bridge that went over a dry riverbed, and they had gotten the Tunisian army, and so there were tanks and helicopters and everything. It was a very crazy shoot, and
Yeah.
at the same time, Roberto Benigni's doing all of this crazy clowning around, right?
Yeah.
He's
I
just
was
so funny.
laughing to that, and most of that is something where people are just amazing, and all the shows I watched, Angelina Ballerina was animated, Bob the Builder, all the shows. And one show that really stood out to me was Thomas and Friends Misty Island Rescue. That
Oh my goodness.
Oh, yeah.
so
Yeah.
what was that video?
Well, that was the one where they discovered the new island, and that was a huge deal because Thomas had been sort of limited to the island always, and then that opened up the possibility of going on different adventures in different places. So they wanted to be very careful with the way that they did that and introduced it because go ahead.
Well, yeah, exactly, because like him being on that island so long, like I'm a graduate of Hearst College Communication Broadcasting course, and I've learned about this kind of stuff you guys go into, and I've learned you got to be careful when you do stuff like this because you don't know what's going to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, once the cat is out of the bag, it could go any place, and they have to be very careful. They want to make sure that it stays true to the vision that Thomas has always had.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
So, but that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
And Thomas the Tank Engine also featured for character.
Sorry, say that again, David.
And Thomas the Tank Engine was also featured in Kids for Character.
In Pittsburgh Character?
No, Kids for Character. Kids for Character.
That was way before.
That was
that was way before.
before.
But also that stood out for me. Free World.
That was actually my time, the 90s.
Yes, but I also talk about Pac-Man World 3.
Yeah,
so we're
hey, David, can you slow down on the question? Try to let other people talk a little bit because people are wanting to talk. Yeah, I was going to ask about that. How was it like working on Pac-Man World 3 and doing Pac-Man himself?
Oh, well, that was a huge honor for me as well. I hate to keep saying the word honor, but in that case, it really was because I was one of those kids who had a pizza shop down the end of his street and would play Pac-Man at the pizza shop.
Awesome!
So it was loads of fun. And it was the first really proper lead, cultural icon thing that I'd ever been gifted with. And then you got to just let all that stuff go, and you just got to be the character and trust that the director knows what they're doing. And I was also one of the ghosts in it as well.
Yes,
which was
no way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who, funnily enough, sounded a little bit like Diesel, if I remember. He was a little bit like this. Oh, hey, how you doing, guys?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Oh my
God. Not Pac-Man. Oh gosh! Don't eat me, Pac-Man.
Don't eat the
Oh my God! Yes, yeah. And fun fact about this: I tried to beat the game. I tried to beat the game, but then my Wii broke
Diesel
down.
is really.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah, my Wii
Sorry,
but
somebody's
played like characters. So
no, go ahead, Samuel. I just was you're breaking up there for a sec. Just go one more time.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the Wii like the Wii played GameCube on it, and so I was able to still play the game, but then it broke down.
Oh, you mean like there was a bug in the software, or more like your cube broke down?
No, my disc tray of it broke down. My disc tray broke down months later. So I wasn't able to beat the game
AIDS
yet.
or something.
I remember Mom and I would play Pac-Man World for hours. My mom loved it more than anything. It was her favorite video game, and Malachi and I would just be sitting watching her, but it was her favorite video game when we were kids.
Aw, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've never played the game before. I've never played it, but I will say I have seen cutscenes of it, and I just cannot get enough of the like back and forth that you as Pac-Man have with like Orson the ghost.
Yeah. Orson was played by Eric Myers, is that right?
Yeah, Eric Myers.
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he also was in a few other video games. He was also in Space Channel 5 Part 2, which I actually have on my PlayStation 3. So, yeah, he was Purge in that. And I remember that game too. I loved it. So was Carrie Shale. Carrie Shale was in it too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I've worked with all of these. The North American acting community here in the UK is small but active, and it's a bit like a repertory company with theater.
Yeah.
So you'll see the same actors, and you'll be doing multiple shows. Gosh, I've worked with Carrie dozens of times. We worked on The Goat Doctor, which was a radio play.
Okay.
Earlier last year, and last year there's a game that I directed called Wizardry Variant Daphne, and Carrie has a role in that as well.
Cool.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have a question for Martin Sherman? Anyone else? All right, go ahead, Martin. Go ahead, Martin.
Okay, so Martin, not to be confused with me. So
out there, you knew he had to.
He was gonna.
So I know you did your voice of Diesel earlier, but can you do your voices of Thomas and Percy?
Oh,
Sure.
oh boy.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
It's gonna be a bit hard for me to hear because like it's just happening live and my brain can't comprehend.
God.
Okay, shut your eyes. Shut your eyes, Jimmy, then. Shut your eyes.
Okay.
Percy, shall we go to the washdown? I don't know, Thomas. I'm a little dirty, but I think that I'm okay.
Oh my God!
Literally, people are dying with laughing.
Oh my God!
Now, I have a little bit of trivia for you that you probably don't know.
Okay, lay it at me.
All right. So, in the first season, and Hero of the Rails, they actually had me go in and re-record all of Percy because I did it in a half an octave higher than I just did it for you now.
Oh.
So he was right up here, talking like this all the time. And then they had me bring him down a little bit because it was just a little bit too whiny for people to pay attention to.
Trust me, that's the kind of
awesome.
I understand why they had you re-record that. That's the kind of voice that can get really grating.
Yeah.
I like hearing it. It's like I can see why they had it lowered. It's like
I still have the Thomas the Tank Engine theme song stuck in my head now.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh yeah. By the way, this is for Percy. By the way, I have this Homie You. Percy. Hey Percy, I got something with you in it. I wish I could have you sign.
Thank you very much. Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you. Don't worry, I got more to show soon, Percy. Don't worry. Hey Jimmy.
Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So before I did Orson Island, I was involved with this thing for Cambridge University called Mind Reading, where I played Emoto, the robotic guide to the emotions.
Yeah.
And I was curious if you guys ever used it or if you know of anybody who ever used it.
Not that.
No, I don't think I ever heard of that.
Think so.
Me neither.
No.
It was specifically meant for people on the spectrum to help them identify people's emotions.
You're kidding.
Whoa.
wow.
I
You
mean,
know
I
this.
hear, yeah.
I,
that
I
is
just need to say
so,
this, but
like, cool.
hearing about this will help my mom a lot because she's an educational assistant who helps people with autism and special needs. So you telling me about this will really help her with her job on the spectrum. So thank you for
wow.
telling me that.
My
Oh
pleasure.
my
My
god!
goodness.
Me
Oh
too,
my
Yeah.
because
god!
Oh my god, yes.
You're a scientist too, so that's awesome.
Well, yeah, he is, but he's a lot more of an ocean engineer, which
Yeah.
which actually makes me think of a question that I had. What kind of since you have dabbled in ocean engineering, what kind of machinery have you built?
So the project that just a little potted history. My my focus is on trying to figure out ways of using the ocean to help fix climate change, to bring us back into more of a carbon balance. So
Huh.
that could be providing energy, or it could be providing food. It could be providing fertilizer. It could be any one of these things.
Okay.
So I got funded by the U.S. government about $500,000 to do phase one development of a project that was designed to turn seaweed into crude oil.
Okay.
So they've already have the process that can turn marine biomass into crude oil. The problem that they have is delivering the biomass to the refinery cheap enough that it makes sense to turn it into fuel, because usually we use fuel to grow our crops, so we use fuel to run the machines, and we use fuel to turn it into fertilizers, and we use fuel to refrigerate the products.
Yeah.
So long story short, my project was designed to use the floating seaweed that lives in the middle of the ocean called sargassum, and to try to provide enough fertilizer to it and to keep it safe so that it would then grow, and then you could then take it to the refinery and turn it into crude oil. In terms of answering specifically what we built, in phase one, we built a scale model of the fence, and we built in it that was tested in a wave tank at the University of New Hampshire. And we also built some what's called techno-economic analysis. And this is sort of a mathematical model of what the inputs, outputs, costs, and running costs are expected to be.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's some science stuff I don't even know about. I haven't been in school in years, so
I just got out of college like a year ago, so it's
no.
like me. I haven't been back in school in a while.
I've been doing stuff like what I'm doing now. I've been doing this is more of a hobby that I'm doing now, and knowing from other podcasts and such
Well,
like
and
that.
Samuel, you can make a career out of this because when I went to college, you can do a career with this, with editing YouTube videos. It is possible to make this a career.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it depends. It depends on what goes on. I mean, I know there's another big podcast out there that everybody goes to, but I don't think I'll be as big as them. But we're working on it.
It doesn't hurt to have some sort of competition.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt,
Yeah.
but don't give up on it. Like, keep
Okay.
trying with it.
Thank you. But I'm gonna go ahead and
Never
show off.
give up. Be proud of yourself.
Can
I think you've done very well, Samuel. I think
Thank
that this
you.
is you're doing a great job.
Thank you, but I'm gonna go ahead and show off a few more of my stuff that I have featuring you in it. So I do have, of course,
Okay.
Pac-Man World 3. I actually bought this about a couple
That's
of
so
years ago, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, I have it about a couple of. I bought this about a couple of years ago at it was at a thrift gaming store here in South Carolina, America. And so yeah, we have a mall here, and they have like a thrift store where you can buy games and such like that. And they even buff the games out too, so they get the scratches out of it. And so I
Oh,
wasn't
nice.
able to, but that's the whole GameCube. And I played the other Pac. I played Pac-Man World 2, the Pac-Man that came before you, and I beat that. Yeah, I lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be honest. A lot of my Nintendo games were thrown away during house cleanings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and I had some more Thomas stuff too, like I told Glenn. And yeah, during house cleanings over the last few years, I've had people throw away my things. So I'm very sorry if I'm not able to show off all that I have.
Yeah, I heard that in the podcast with Glenn. That was not
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. But you want to know what's funny? They threw it out at different times. My game collection was shot up by a person from a company. It was thrown away by two people from like that worked for a company. And my Thomas ones were like from a church, from like some church people, like some Christian men. They came and they do the house cleaning and they got thrown. And I'm like, it's
That is
okay.
a bummer.
That's gotta suck.
People aren't gonna understand a guy that likes stuff like this, so that's okay. They're gonna A lot of Christians are gonna think, oh, they're gonna think I want to watch adult things for my age, so
Mhm.
they're not gonna think of these or anything pop culture wise. So, and also I do have a few more of your DVDs. So this is one that I have. Of course, I said I had Hero of the Rails here, so I have that.
Yeah.
So yep. Yep. So actually, a good person gave this to me, Sadik Sankara, and then yeah, and actually, I remember renting this. We lived in a different house here in South Carolina, so it was a different. It was I actually rented this from like a store, a grocery store.
Mhm.
They had like a DVD rental box, and I remember renting this in like 2009. So
Wow.
when it first came out, and so that was, and here I have the others that this featured Mark Morgan. These three. Of course, I have Tale of the Brave,
Oh yeah,
Santa's
there's
Little
my
Engine.
favorite.
Yep, Santa's
Mhm.
Little Engine, Tales of the Brave, and Signals Cross. So these featured Mark Moore,
Yes.
the narrator, right after taking over from of course, Michael Brandon himself, who I loved. I love Michael Brandon. I don't care what the fans think. I love him. He is my childhood narrator.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mine too. Yes.
by the time
Mm-hmm.
Mark Morgan came, I was 12 years old, so I definitely was outgrew that by the time Mark came in. But I still watched it regardlessly. But
I
I
mean,
still
I liked Mark Morgan as the narrator.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
And Samuel, going back to that thing where your stuff got rid of, being a Christian myself, I too get hate for liking Thomas the Tank Engine at my age. I'm almost 30 and I still like the show, but that's why I keep going with my reaction YouTube channel, reacting to Thomas and Friends videos
I'm
to show
almost
people that it's okay to like this stuff. We just got to be the voice to show that, you know what, just because we're at this age doesn't mean we can't like it. We have a voice.
Yeah.
of course.
We need to use it.
It's what
And same thing with my YouTube channel on Caffeinated Critics. We review movies and give them the question of the week. So that works on making a great movie review.
Yeah.
honestly, I feel the same
What's
way.
up, Martin? What's up, Martin?
I was gonna say, Kianna, I'm gonna be 30 soon as well.
Well, yeah, I'm 27 and I still like Thomas the Tank Engine, so I don't let anyone.
I don't let
I'm
people
29.
I'm 20,
Nice.
I'm 25, and I can safely say that I still love this show and a certain other show that was co-produced by Hit Entertainment, but that's for another time.
Yeah, and also I want to show off this too. I have this book, and I got this in like
Oh,
2000.
wow.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I got this in like 2017, Christmas of 2017, and it still features that people from the Nitrogen animation. So it
The book
features
looks
all
so
these.
cool.
And
That
you want
looks so
to
cool.
and you want to know what else I got? I got
What?
I got some like mini figurines here.
No way!
Oh,
The
Nice.
teaser for
Yeah.
the sixth array.
Yeah, and also I have two of your buddies here. Guess what? There's Thomas and Percy.
Oh,
Percy.
bless.
Yeah, Thomas and Percy. Don't worry, Thomas. I had something for you too, buddy. Don't worry. There you go, Tom. That's for you, Thomas.
Nice one.
That's for you, Thomas. And there's Percy right there. I know, like I do have more Thomas stuff, but it's more of the model faces. So no offense to you.
That's all right.
Hey, I have some of the model stuff too.
I was curious if you guys saw Captain America and saw
No
Michael
way,
Brandon
yes,
and
I
me
did,
working
yes.
together.
Yes. I was actually gonna ask you. Do you keep
wait. Captain America, like what Captain America are you talking about?
The
Like
first
the Marvel
Avenger.
movie from
The first
2009?
Avenger.
Wait, that was you
Really?
were in
That
that?
movie?
Mhm.
That movie?
No freaking way!
So Michael and I are working together in that film. He's playing the senator who is
Mhm.
setting up the program that makes Captain America,
Yeah.
Okay,
and I'm playing his assistant.
Mhm.
that was
Yeah.
you.
That was me.
Yeah.
It
Oh my
says,
goodness, I had no
it says-
idea.
it says that you played Brant's aide.
Yeah, and he was
Mhm.
Brant.
Yeah. He was
No
Senator
Wow.
Brand.
way! I love that movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I remember watching it. I think we watched it in another house. So yeah, I wasn't in his house at the time. So
We had a grand time. He's a really great guy. We
yeah.
even we did most of the filming here in the UK, and then even had to do a little shoot over in LA.
Well, yeah.
Got a
Yeah.
chance to, yeah, all the
Yeah.
fun stuff. Even went out and had frozen yogurt. All the
Oh
fun
my
stuff.
God. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Wow.
Besides
It's
Glenn,
not every day you get to interview someone who actually participated in a Marvel movie.
I
That just
know.
made my day.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Do you still keep in contact besides Glenn? Do you still keep in contact with any other people that work on the CGI era? Thomas, anybody at all?
Well, I haven't seen Michael for a few years,
Yeah,
but
you know what? We tried to get him on. We tried to get him on the show. We went through agents. We tried to get him on. He's actually a top one I want on here.
but everybody else I see pretty regularly. I haven't seen David for a few years, and I haven't seen Togo
Okay.
for a few years.
Yeah.
But the core members of the Thomas show, as opposed to the movies, I see them all the time. All
Okay,
the
That's
so
awesome.
Like people like Carrie Shale, Keith Wickham, or Keith Wickham's people like that.
yeah, all friends
yeah,
of mine,
Keith Wickham.
and
Yeah.
all Facebook friends, because people work from home studios a lot. But
Oh, yeah.
in fact, the last time I saw Carrie, it was about 2 months ago. It was a friend of ours' funeral, but
Oh.
yeah, sadly, we were working together 2 months before that.
Maybe
Ooh.
maybe that wasn't the right. Maybe I asked that a bit too soon.
Oh no, you had no way to know. You had
Yeah,
no
I
way
had
to
no
know.
way to know. I do know that. Speaking, we've had some. I actually was going to take a moment of silence earlier, but I wanted to rush in to this because I was excited. Yeah, but we had a few people from Thomas, of course, in recent years that have passed away. So that's another thing you mentioned about that. Of,
It's
I
one
think.
of the hard things about, you don't really get prepared for this when you go to school, because you have your same classmates, and then you
Yeah.
might have a grandparent that passes away. But when you work as an actor, you work with people of all
Sorry, I
ages,
pressed the wrong button.
and
It's
then you
okay.
slowly age up. I've been here for 30 years, and so some very dear friends have sadly gotten to that age.
Yeah.
Did you ever see a show called UFO? It was done by the same people who did Thunderbirds.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm trying to think if I have. It sounds so. It's just. You try to look for some of these things, and it's like, it's like, okay, have I seen this? Have I seen this? Have I seen this? Have I seen this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was just going to mention an actor that was in that if you guys knew it. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. There's just tons and tons of really talented people over
Yeah,
here
I
doing
was gonna say we did lose the creator of Thomas actually recently. Back
well,
in
the creator of the TV series,
the TV series. Yeah,
Britt Allcroft.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
and
so sad.
yeah, I know. I don't. It still hadn't been confirmed, but people said that she was ill for quite some time, and she didn't say anything about it. And she had the right not to say if she had cancer
Well, yeah.
or leukemia or whatever.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it was her right to privacy.
Yeah, it's her
Yeah,
right to
sadly,
privacy.
I'd never met her. She was
Yeah.
sort of hands off with the show at that point.
Yeah.
By the
Yeah.
time I came
Yeah,
in.
but I do know that who was still there, but he also died in 2020 because he had a heart attack as well. Michael Angelis. Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a heart attack. Did you ever connect with him at all, or no?
I did get to meet him once in the lobby of the sound company where we were doing the
Oh,
recording. And
wow.
just the
Mm.
sweetest, kindest, gentlest person you could possibly
Wow.
meet.
Yeah. So you met Michelangelo too. Wow. Yeah, he only did the UK dub of the show. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Here's something that you might not know about the show.
Okay.
It was originally recorded with the U.S. voices,
Yes,
and
I
then
know.
animated.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
I know. Glenn told me. Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
I got confirmation from this from a video by the Unlucky Tug
Yes.
that the US dub was recorded first.
Yes.
And then they had to have the UK dub recorded after, which meant that they had to kind of keep in the same timing with you guys since the mouth movements already.
Well, yeah, exactly.
And it's something that you're not really conscious of when you're just speaking. The way that the individual syllables in American English are shorter than the individual syllables in UK English. So
Well, yeah.
it really made quite the challenge for those poor actors.
Yeah. May I ask you, how was it like to work with Ben Small, who was doing the voices of the like did some of the voices, who did your Thomas, and how do you think he did?
I think he did a pretty good job, and he was a really nice guy. I haven't spoken to him for a few years, but super sweet.
I mean, I definitely know that. I definitely remember you in the US dub. He played Charlie in the US dub, so it was kind of nice to hear you. So it was kind of nice to hear both voices of Thomas from like two different characters at that point.
I have a question, if that's okay.
Please.
I'm going into this industry of what you're going into, and I guess I would like to ask, was it a difficult journey for you, like when you first started off? Because I'm noticing with my experience that it's very tough to get in this industry. So I guess I'd like to know, how tough was it for you to get into this industry?
Well, it wasn't that tough for me, but that was partly because I was a rare bird in a place, and I was at the right time in the right place.
Yeah.
I also I'd always sort of wanted to do this, and so I'd been working on my voice skills. I'm not sure which kind of side of the industry you're trying to get on, whether you're trying to the voice side or the writing side.
It's kind of like a bit of both, the editing side. I also done voice stuff as well, because I've done, like, I did video and audio production. So it's like, I guess I'd like to know, because like I said, I'm going into this industry myself. So I guess I'd like to know.
I think that you are kind of coming into it. You have to kind of come into it blind and full of hope and just present yourself and be there, because there is so much randomness about meeting the right person at the right time and things happening. All I can tell you is that it does happen for people.
Okay.
And also that it doesn't happen for people. Some of the people who I knew have been really, really talented. They just didn't be at the right place at the right time.
It's like connections. It's connections.
But it's like being a fisher person. As long as you're got your hook in the water, as long as you're out there making yourself available for it to happen, it might.
Thank you.
You take your hook out of the water, it won't, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Good luck.
Thank you. It's been a tough journey, but thank you.
One thing I will say though is keep practicing, keep using your skills, keep making things. If you're just making it and putting it on YouTube, you never know who's going to see it.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I will be honest.
That's certainly something I could learn with a certain duck character of mine.
Oh yeah. I've done fan dubs of the original Thomas series as well. So it's fun. And the thing about the model series is I can kind of sort of make my own, like say something like, I know I've seen this in another podcast. Like Michael Brandon, he when he first, like before you came in, he redubbed some of Alec Baldwin's episodes here for the US.
Yeah.
And during the Gorton Takes a Tumble, he actually made Gorton go, whoa, whoa, like whenever the trains go on the track, he would make him go, whoa, 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 like that. Like he would do that. And I was like, that's funny. I'm like, yeah, why didn't Alec Baldwin do that? Why didn't Alec Baldwin do that? I don't know if,
Well, I mean, you have to be in the room, and sometimes the actor doesn't get the note, or the animators don't know what they're going to do in advance, and so the animator might have gone, hey, this is a really good moment to throw this in, and they couldn't get Alec Baldwin back because he's so busy doing things.
Well,
So
yeah.
they just left it.
Oh no,
But
I understand.
but sometimes.
Yeah, I know with Alec Baldwin. Don't worry, I know
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin. Yeah, he replaced it, and it just I was just saying, like when Michael Brandon did it, he he added the woe, but Alec Baldwin didn't necessarily do that. So I don't know if that was written in there for him or not. And so, but I am
Maybe.
looking here, and we're going to go on ahead and get into some of the fan questions already. Yep, you do have fans that have asked you questions. Like, my goodness, my goodness, people delivered this episode. This is an inactive phone. I'm using my active phone to chat with y'all right now. I don't get very many phone calls, so
Yeah.
I'm just using it right now. I used to use my computer to record it all, but then it just didn't work out. My computer turned out slow, so now I'm just using my computer to edit some of the stuff now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but what we'll do is I'm probably just gonna end up hand picking some because I don't, But so okay, this question. This first question comes by the name of, I can't really say it, Rena Stan. I can't spell your name right, but thanks for your question. For his first question, he asked, and I think he asked, and I think it's already been answered. Which characters did you audition for but did not get?
Oh, which are characters? I only auditioned for Thomas and Percy. I didn't audition for anybody else.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants to know, were you a Thomas fan before being cast? Yeah,
No.
he
No,
didn't really watch the show.
I brushed myself up on the show, so I knew what I was getting into, but I hadn't been watching it prior to it.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I don't know if you saw any of Ringo's, or of course Michael before you, because okay, I am going to say this. I don't know. I think pretty sure most of us Thomas fans already know that you actually came in sooner than expected, because actually Pierce was actually going to come in and and there was going to be like this half model, half CGI season. He was going to narrate it, but then stuff didn't turn out.
They actually did end up doing that half model, half CGI season. That was season 12, by the way.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that when it came out, and I was like, this looks cool, but also really uncanny. And I kind of knew that I knew that this was like Hit Entertainment dipping their toe into the CGI realm. But even I knew back then, I was thinking to myself, and I'm like, there's no way that something like this is going to last forever. They're going to go full CGI at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And within that year they went. So, and even though Pierce did good on The Great Discovery, I will say this: I don't think he would have been good, at least for the American audiences. Maybe for the UK audiences, I think that he should have probably left after Michael Angelis. No offense to him, because Michael Angelis did it there for so many years already, and they were supposed to leave after the 11th season, but then stuff just happened, and I'm sure that but all right, I'm trying to read. Oh boy. Oh boy. He asked a question about episode. His fourth question was a little bit about man. I'll just sum it up in a very positive way. I mean, how do you think Joseph May did when you did the U.S. voice of Thomas?
Oh,
Just Joseph May.
I actually didn't see any of the Joseph May episodes. I just I didn't. Sorry.
Well, I can't say. Well, I can't say that I'm surprised about that.
Okay,
if it makes
I'm just gonna move on.
I haven't seen those episodes either. I haven't.
Okay.
I'm just gonna move on from that. I'm just gonna move on. That's how I just summed it up. I didn't want to get to the other thing, so I'm just gonna sum it up.
We really
just
want to open that touchy subject. We really didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I did direct Joseph and got a chance to know him because he came in on the game that I've been directing, Wizardry.
Okay.
And we had a great time. He's a lovely guy. So just it's all cool. Just
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you guys know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no worries, no worries.
It's just we went into this like trying our hardest not to like dip our hand into you know what, because
that's all I'm gonna say. That's all. That's why I just summed it up shortly. That's why I summed it up shortly. So, and I didn't want to, and I just don't. That's why I summed it up shortly. That's all I just said. I didn't go into any more. And okay, I think the Seradian A0 at just the Seradian A0. I can't really spell his name. He said, "Were you familiar?" Oh yeah, he already answered that first one. And what was it like working with the other cast members of the U.S. dub? He wants to know, like, I mean, technically you've already,
They're lovely, and as I said, most of them I've worked with multiple times before and since, and I feel really blessed. We've got some really good actors over here. Yeah.
Yeah, and then this little green bug on wheels wants to know, what wants to know this. He wants to know, what was your favorite episode that you did?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I don't think I have a favorite episode, but I do particularly love Day of the Diesels.
Okay, Day of the Diesels.
And,
Yeah.
I also thought that Misty Island Rescue was a lot of fun.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
just in that way of like I have a bit of a serious soul, and so that's the part of me that liked Day of the Diesel. But there's just so much rickety fun, So that's when it comes down to just having fun. That's what I was.
Yeah, pretty much.
And also he wants to know, what was your reaction towards working in Thomas, and you just mean it's mainly just things like everybody is just saying, like they just want to hear their questions to be answered, and so I'm just doing the best I can to really,
It was I was aware that I was coming into something with a lot of history that people loved, and so I should pay attention as much as I can and try to give it the respect, but also treat it lightly, treat it like it's fun, and that.
Yeah.
Also, the thing that I wanted to bring to it as much as I could was the relationship between Thomas and Percy.
Yeah.
I felt like if that could be grounded and there could be some real love between those two people, then that could be a really that could be a real way to honor what the show was trying to do and the world that the show was trying to create.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then of course you said your favorite character. What was the favorite character that you didn't play? Was it, if you had to pick another character that you didn't play?
Oh,
what
that I
would you
didn't
choose?
play.
Ooh, that's a
Oh, that's a good one.
I really liked Cranky. Cranky was great fun.
Yeah.
Oh, because of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, Glenn Rage said he liked Cranky too, but I think he said that his favorite was Spencer because he got to play a real viral villain.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He did a great Spencer.
Oh, I never liked Spencer. It was like, no, when Heroes the Rails, I'm like, no.
But like
yeah.
that was the point. They made Spencer, this like who was originally Gordon's rival, into this like multi-layered villain. He was literally trying to get rid of Hero just to stick it to Thomas. That is so petty, and I love it.
That's what drives me nuts. It's like, leave the guy alone.
Oh my god. Oh boy. Okay, and you've already answered this. This dude. So this next goes by Victoria Tor. These YouTube names are very, very strange. Honestly, they're very strange. So I'm gonna struggle at a bit. So Zorlatar, and this person wants to know. I mean, you've already answered this. He wanted to know your favorite Thomas special, and they said Day of the Diesels. So. Yeah, and he said, they also want to know, did you feel nervous working on Thomas and Friends?
There's always a moment prior to going in when you feel the
Pressure?
It's
Yeah.
it's more like the desire to do good, the
Mhm.
the real hope that you're going to hit it, because whenever you're doing art, it's not precise. It's not, you don't know for sure that you're going to hit everything that you want to hit, and so
Yeah.
you're trying, and you're
Mhm.
hoping that you're going to get there. So yeah, there's that nervousness of hoping that you're going to be able to get all the moments that you want to get, that it's going to work the way that you've heard it in your head. But specifically prior to Thomas, I think it was more the audition. It was more prior to having landed the role that I was really quite nervous. And afterwards, after it was all done,
Mhm.
uh, I went out to play Pac-Man, because they had a Pac-Man game in the lobby of the recording studio, and so
Oh.
I'm just playing
Ooh.
away and just trying to get rid of the stress. And the producer came out and he asked me what I was doing, and I said, just playing some Pac-Man. And he went, "Do you really want this?" And I said, "Yeah, I really do." He said, "Okay," and I knew I had it.
Hmm. And then he asked, "Well, yes, we just confirmed that there are other things he voiced acted in. Like he said, he also voice acted in he also did Spider-Man and Iron Fist in the Lego Marvel too. I only have Lego Marvel 1, the one with the California voices, like
Oh
James
yeah.
Arnold Taylor, and oh my god, I can't even think. James Arnold
Uh,
Taylor, who else? Yeah, how was it? Actually, I will ask. How was it like playing being the voice of Spider-Man and taking over from James Arnold Taylor?
Woo! That was that was a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah. I was always a Marvel fan over DC. I mean, I like DC, I like Batman, but I was an X-Men follower, and
Yeah,
Spider-Man was great. Oh fuck yeah.
yeah,
Just super fun.
yeah.
And
Spider-Man and Blade were my favorites.
you know, when you get that, he's one of those characters that when he's out there going around the city and swinging on his webs, you know that he's having fun. He's always screaming, going woohoo, you know, so it's clearly fun.
Yep, that's James
oh
Arnold
yeah.
Taylor for you. Yep, that's James Arnold Taylor there. And so, okay,
Mhm.
so Jeb Rango, he also asked a few questions, and of course they're kind of the same. You know, how did you get the role as as those two characters, Thomas and Percy, and it was just what we said earlier. You just went in, you just auditioned for them, and they just liked your voice for the American voices, and that's
It,
how it.
it
And
was a
us,
departure. It was a departure for them because they'd been working with stars prior to this, and I wouldn't classify myself as a star prior to doing Thomas.
Well,
So
no.
it was a real risk for them to get actors who, who'd worked but didn't have names. Um, I think that I think that they were feeling like the show itself had enough history that they could take that kind of risk.
Mhm.
Because
yeah.
it's always a risk when you change
Hmm.
things up.
Well, yeah.
And also, yeah, I'm trying to think. He said, "What did you think of Hero of the Rails?" That's what he wants to know because I think that's his favorite Thomas film.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, the as I said, the actual doing of the recording of it was wonderful because we could all work together.
Mhm.
Um, and I really liked the way that they were pulling in. They were adding so much complexity to the Thomas character, and they were giving him the opportunity with his interactions with Hero to show sides of him that he'd just never shown before. So
Mhm.
it was really quite great to come into that. And that was actually my introduction to the role, because we recorded Hero of the Rails first
Yes,
and then did the season.
yes.
Got it.
And I don't know this, but heard something about this years ago. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Carrie Shale did Thomas at one point, but then they were like, okay, but I don't know if it's true. I
Did
don't know if
he?
it's true.
Might
I
have
haven't.
recorded some temp stuff. I know that David Menken sort of in one of the later seasons, my mother passed away, and so
Oh.
I needed
Oh, I'm
to.
so
Yeah,
sorry.
thank you.
Oh.
And so I needed to leave the show for a little while,
Yeah.
and they wanted to keep recording, so they had some temporary stuff put in while I was
Oh,
away.
Ah,
And
okay.
David
Yeah.
Menken did that. I
so
think
season.
Carrie might have done some of the
Oh.
Diesel stuff that I was doing.
Okay, yeah. So maybe
Yeah.
season 17 is when that happened. Yeah, maybe season 17. Yeah.
They would sometimes mix it up a little bit. So some of one season would be recorded in the same time that another season was being recorded. So
Yeah.
sometimes things got a little mixed up
Yeah.
from that point of view.
And then he wanted to know, how did you react getting when you were working on Thomas? Like, he wanted to know your reaction to that, and if you wanted just to sum this up the best that you can.
My reaction to working on it at the time.
Yeah, how was, I mean, of course you said, I mean, it was, it was, you mean, I don't know if I don't know if it's the best thing that you've ever done in your life, but I would say it's been a great experience.
It was definitely a great experience, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, as an actor, I'm always interested in pushing myself and going into exploring.
Yeah.
And Thomas had to remain in a sort of a narrow window. So there were elements about Thomas that I would very much have liked to explore that were that are a little bit wider.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the limitation of it.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's a really tough question.
Yeah, I
I've
know.
played so many characters that I really love.
Yeah, I know.
And
You
some of
sound
them
like
have been
Thomas
really
right now.
small.
You sound like Thomas a little bit right now, just
Yeah,
because
you do.
because I remember when, like he would get very. Yeah, I watched a few episodes as well today. One of my, how much I can't think, but one of my, I think another one that I kind of really enjoyed was Percy and the Calliope. That one was pretty,
Oh,
pretty good.
yes.
Because
Yeah,
I do
that
have
was
to
a
give
fun one.
the Heartstones credit. They brought back a piece from the actual Thomas series.
Yeah.
So that, if I had to pick a Nitrogen episode, I would choose that. I'm trying to think. And I know this is another one that's probably going to be a little bit bad that I didn't really care for. This one was Wonky Whistle, and I just had to turn it off right away. I just
Oh,
didn't
come
like
on. I love that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, people do not like Wonky Whistle because
I do not like that episode.
I don't know. I was more into the CGI series, especially since I'm on the spectrum. So I felt like
know.
the CGI series is more what I liked.
And then another interesting one was when Express coming through, when Thomas was pulling the Express.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that. And Gordon said it was too heavy for him. Like, well, we've seen Thomas pull the Express before. I mean, how is it,
It had an extra heavy load. They were hauling gold bullion in there.
Yeah. I wonder if Thomas had a good time after that, and he didn't realize.
I will say I might not be the biggest fan of the Sharon Miller era.
Yeah.
And I certainly know people who dislike it more than I do.
Yeah.
But whenever they go to Misty Island, I don't know why, but there's always one line going down that rickety bridge that just always puts a smile on my face.
What's that? What's
I
that?
can't help but say it.
What
You
is
know
it?
the one, folks.
Okay.
Shake.
Shake, make me
Make
quake,
Wait until I say it.
Oh.
Yes. Who doesn't love that line?
See, as I said, Misty Island Rescue is so much fun.
Yeah, a lot.
And
Yeah,
I
a
just
lot.
love Ferdinand. He's so funny.
I respect your opinion. I mean, I told Glenn about it, and Glenn said he didn't really like Ferdinand either because all he just said was,
that's okay.
Right. That's right. Like, if you didn't hear it, he brought out Ferdinand. And I just, Martin Krebs and I just kept laughing at that. We were like, that, you went, that's right. That's right. Oh my God. And I can't wait to send him this. I think he's going to like this. And I mean, you know what I did think of? I did think of bringing him back, like just to say hello. But then I was like, I think he's busy right now. He's working on video games and all. So yeah, and then so we go to, now we have this guy Hudson, and Hudson wanted to know what Thomas character did you not like to voice?
I didn't have a voice that I didn't like to voice. No.
And
no.
And he
Sorry.
and us and this other guy ITN 2009 said this. He said, "How did you land the role? If you could voice anyone else, who would it be? Like, who and Thomas would you voice act besides Thomas or Percy or Diesel and any of that?"
Cranky, and I thought that Henry was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah,
liked that he had special coal.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
who
gonna
doesn't
pick
love
the,
Henry?
yeah,
No, I can see that. I
yeah,
can
I can
see
see
you
that.
playing Henry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can see that.
yeah, I could see that. You would go well with Henry. I don't see why you couldn't. And then our last bit of questions come from two other people. We have one, we have two, and then they're on Instagram. And this is actually another co-host who co-hosts with me on here, but she decided to take a break right now. Her name is Chris, and she runs the Nostalgia channel. And she wants to know, how was it like voicing Spider-Man? And we kind of already went through that.
Yeah, just loads of fun. Loads and loads of fun.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm on the Instagram page right now. I see a question from Tori.
Yeah, Tori Benson asks these questions, and she always asks the usual. And I wanted to say, Tori, we always appreciate your questions here. They're awesome, and they're just so sweet. She wants to know, my questions are, and she wants to know what inspired you to be a voice actor.
So, when I was in high school, I was really interested in voices. I had heard this program called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy on public radio, and it the idea of, because I'd already been an actor, a stage actor, but the idea of being just a voice that was bringing things alive, it suddenly opened up like a window in my mind, and I was like, this is wonderful. And so while I was in high school, I started doing these public speaking competitions, like Dramatic Interp, where you read a story and you do all of the characters, sort of like a talking book now. So it had been this thing that I'd wanted to do, since high school. I wanted to be the kind of actor that was kind of focused on their voice.
Yeah.
And then we were doing a version of a play called Skin of Our Teeth, and I got cast as the newsreader at the front, and I did like 10 different accents. So I was doing news reports from around the world as if I was 10 different newsreaders from around the world, all these different accents, some of which were terribly cod now, and I would not do them because they're bad accents.
Yeah.
But
yeah, my
the
goodness.
freedom
Let's
of
just say
being
it was a different time.
Yeah.
let's just say it was a different time. But the freedom of being liberated from my body and being able to, if I could make the voice, I could be that person. That was exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Yes. Now I will say this, and now she also asked, what was your favorite Thomas episode you worked on, and you said, well, Day of the Diesels, of course, the specials. But I am going to say this, I do, even though the CGI era was, not really my type, but it was. I still like the voice acting on some of it. Some of it was really, a lot of it was not. They chose good voice actors. I just think that they chose lines and just because a lot of lines were copy and pasted, like the other editors would say the same thing after again, like during the episode, like if an engine was going on an adventure, like for that episode, for example, let's just say like Thomas was delivering a load, and then they said like, okay, don't you think you should go to this or this, and then the other end would say, don't you think you should go to this or this, and but I will say this, I do have a good part of the CGI that I liked. And now this was for the 30-minute episodes. Like I think Tom, like if anybody remembers the 30 half-hour formats on television, here we had it here on PBS, and then in Nick Jr. there in the UK. I remember seeing the down at the station moments where like they would show the real life trains going through, and then the Michaels would narrate. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. It was the real life.
I do. Yes.
Yeah, it was the real life trains. Like they would, like the Michaels would talk about the signals, or the passengers or the coaches or whatever, and it would show a real life railway. Like if you guys don't remember seeing it on like PBS, I'm pretty sure most of us remembered seeing it on PBS. If you guys remembered. So, and then our last question from Tori is, who is your least favorite character out of anything you did that you voice acted?
Ooh, I don't think I could answer that. I'd get me in trouble with the people who hired me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
There have been a few that I haven't liked, but I won't tell you what they were.
Okay.
That's okay. No
okay,
worries.
Don't worry.
No
Don't say
worries.
anything. Yeah. So I will say that Jimmy, I think your mic's muted, but I am gonna say this. I thank you guys for all your questions who
You're right. It
answered.
was. I'm sorry.
Yeah, who answered for Martin, but I am gonna be honest. Please kind of be. I know some of you guys didn't know, but please be mindful about what questions you ask. Please, because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or
Yeah.
I had to. That's why I tried to sum one person up. Just be mindful.
I was trying to say. What I was trying to say is, let's just move away from that to avoid getting sued.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Let's just move on from that so he doesn't get in trouble.
Don't want a lawsuit on our hands.
No, we don't.
No, nobody. No, we won't. We won't. But oh my God, what was another thing I was gonna say, man? I gotta say, first of all, I just want to say I appreciate your voice of Thomas a lot and Percy a lot. I think those are your favorite ones. So, do you have any more Thomas stuff in the background that you had there, or is that? Yeah.
Let's see. Let's see.
Oh,
no way!
Oh my goodness.
That was a good movie.
Yeah. Blue Mountain
There's my
Mystery.
favorite. There's my favorite.
Nice. Yeah, I watched Blue Mountain Mystery last night on YouTube before we came
Luke
here.
was so cute.
The fact that the Unlucky Tug considers that movie Blue Mountain Mystery.
Oh, no way. Actually, hang on. Now that you bring that up, I have this still in the box. Thomas Misty Island on the track. It's still in the box.
Whoa, that's cool.
If I were you, I wouldn't dare open it.
No, I don't plan on opening it ever. But as soon as he mentioned Misty Island, I'm like, I have him on the cargo.
That's Rosie.
Sherman, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, Rosie.
So they gave me a few toys to give to my daughter who was quite young when the show started. So the people over at HIT were quite sweet and gave me lots of this stuff.
Yeah, and by the way, well, I'm sure that they only sell the UK merchandise over there, not yours.
Yeah, they had to send me this stuff from America, so it's got the ones that talk actually have my voice on them.
Nice.
Nice. Did your daughter figure it out? Like your daughter was like, he looked like, because Glenn told the story. He looked at you and then he looked at the toy and then like, huh? What's going on?
Yeah. She was doing one of these like.
That reminds me of a question.
She's like, what's going on here?
Wait, that reminds me of a question.
Yeah,
please.
Go ahead.
Okay. Opening sentence. Day out with Thomas. Day out with Thomas. Everyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Martin, how did you react when they told you that they were going to be like putting in this animatronic head and they were going to have you voicing like certain lines?
It was a bit of a shock. But at that point I had sort of trusted them. And I got to that stage where I felt like they knew what they were doing in terms of this animation style. Just hold on a sec. I seem to have my microphone has gone wonky.
Yeah. Okay.
No worries.
Yeah. Actually, we need to do another question, but because you did some things outside the series, I want to know. So there's two things that you did. I remember you. I remember. I don't remember this, but I remember that you were also did like a news thing for Thomas, like back in 2009, and so how was that like? Because that was a little bit, because you had to talk to a news person, and Thomas was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, it was a little bit of a shock because it was I'm suddenly being thrown in the deep end here, but it was. It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
And another thing you did something for was the Sprout for the Good Night Show. You did like, Yeah, you did like
Yeah,
you did.
PBS Kid Sprout.
Yeah, you did. You like later. You were like, "Hey, Nina, it's me, Thomas." Hop on.
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
I remember that now.
Yeah, because
Yes.
I think they told you. Well, so America has this thing called Sprout, and so
Yeah.
you're doing something for the good. They told you to do something for the Good Night Show, and so
Yeah. I remember now.
yeah, because the
Yeah.
Good Night Show was popular here. I
That
still
was-
watched it.
They didn't start. If I remember correctly, they didn't start showing your episodes on PBS Kids Sprout until 2011.
Yeah,
Oh wow. Okay, long time.
yeah, late 2011, I think. Well, actually, maybe
So-
2012, but I don't know.
So I can only imagine when they told you, "Hey, we kind of want you to do this line for this show because we're going to be airing your episodes now."
Yeah. But things being recorded out of sequence is pretty normal.
Yeah.
It's kind of we're at the request of the editors and the directors. They a lot of the time you just simply have to trust that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I mean, just to know that, because for a while on Sprout, I remembered Michael Brandon. He said, "Hello, Nina and Star. Thomas is coming in right on time from the island of Sodor," and then it would play like
Yeah.
the classic episodes and stuff like that. So I was like,
Ooh, I
That
remember
was-
that.
yeah, that was fun. That was fun too.
hmm
This is an interesting question, and I asked Glenn this. I know that. So there were some video game companies I asked. I mean, he did something for Perfect Zog Zero, which I figured out it was from a person from a company Rare. So and they did, and I know them for doing Banjo Kazooie and Diddy Kong Racing and such. But this is actually an interesting question. Do you know Mac McDonald, who was a voice actor there, American who lives there, who's a voice actor? Because I know I know him
Yeah,
because
Mac and I
he
are
did-
friends.
Yeah,
Wow.
because
Awesome.
because he did the voice of the Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing in the original one.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he did that. I've been trying to get him on here. I want to know if he'd be interested in doing this. Do you think
Oh
he would?
yeah, he's a lot of fun. He's really irreverent and silly. I'm sure he'd love it.
Yeah. Do you have any contact maybe
this-
so when we get off
Wait,
here
are
I can probably do you know like any like
I-
an email I can shoot him
I
at?
don't know if I have his email, but he and I are Facebook friends, so I could always just.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Okay,
wait.
Yeah.
Are we talking? Wait, I'm confused. Are we talking about Mac Williamson?
No, Mac
Mac
McDonald. Mac McDonald.
Oh, sorry.
He
That's
He
okay.
was the voice of the announcer from the Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing, and I love that game. And I have the game on my PlayStation, and I want to share my experience with him on it.
Did you guys ever see Red Dwarf?
Yes. I saw a little bit.
I've heard of it.
I
Don't
saw a
know
little
about-
bit of it. Yes.
So it's a sci-fi comedy series that's
Okay.
set at the end of the world.
Yeah.
And Mac plays the ship's captain
Yes.
in this series.
Okay.
Yes, I know.
And he's very funny.
Yes, I
Very
know. I think that only aired there in the UK, but I've watched many UK.
Yeah, I'm
exclusive
Canadian,
shows.
so I probably wouldn't
I've
see
watched
that.
many UK exclusive shows through like YouTube. I've been watching some. Here, I'll throw in some shows. So there's a show called which is one of my favorites. It's from an author named Jacqueline Wilson that's up there in the UK.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
called The Story of Tracy Beaker, and I love that. I love Tracy Beaker. I love that series. It was funny and it's hilarious. And then there's
Hugely popular over here.
Yes, and there's
yeah.
another one, The Worst Witch, which I've been trying to get some of the
Hey,
people
love you.
who were I'm trying to get some people who were on that show. I think we're going to be getting maybe a few. I know one of them, you guys wouldn't know it, but I think we're getting I want to see if we can get some people from like the 90s one and the 2005 one as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been trying to get some of them on. I'm trying to think what else. Basil Brush. I've watched Basil Brush there. So yeah, that was another one. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to think of there's so many great shows up there. Personally, I think a lot of these comedy shows are better than the ones that we had here in America. Secretly,
Yeah.
So like we had a lot of Nickelodeon and just stuff like that. I'm like, they're good, but they're good. But I think the UK stuff kind of was better.
There's this thing that happens where we only in the UK we only get the best shows from North America. So there's this view that the shows in North America are all really good, and it kind of is the same way over there. You only get the shows that are really good that are coming out of here.
Yeah.
You know, we have stuff that isn't that great.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Well,
I know the US certainly doesn't has a few shows that are not great.
Yeah. Hey, David, you want to ask a little bit of some more questions, David? We'll let you ask.
Of course. I'm also really proud of the work you're doing. Really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was gonna say. So we are about to, this is about.
I can't thank you enough. You also did the voice of Super Mario. So what was that like?
Super Mario. I don't think
No,
so. I don't
no. I
think
didn't
so.
do the voice of Super
No,
Mario. I
no.
think that was a fan casting.
Right,
Yeah.
but you also did another film called. You were also on Doctor Who. So what was that like?
Oh, that was like a glorified vacation. I love Doctor Who, and they were the scene that I was in was actually kind of small. But what they wanted to do is they wanted to make sure that it looked that they were setting this scene in America.
Yeah.
They didn't want to fly us to America, so what they did was they flew us to the Canary Islands off of Africa, which is kind of a desert island, and they filmed it there. So I had this really wonderful moment where I'm alone with the TARDIS and the Doctor in a desert. and we have our little moment, we have our little scene, and then we get to go back to the hotel and have a nice big meal, and it's all very, very swish.
Yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
nice.
Oh my goodness! I actually had one more Thomas DVD, and this is another Christmas one right here. I actually didn't notice that I had this called Christmas Engines, and this was taken in like season 18 too. So that was, I do have to say, now even though I probably outgrew and probably preferred all the celebrities, you still did good, Martin. Don't get me wrong.
Thank you.
Personally, I think you did better than the UK cast. And it's probably because I'm used to the UK voice, like the UK US voices here in America, and that totally makes sense. But anyway, but before we end here and like wrap up here, before we get to the questions, I wanna actually ask you questions to like Thomas or Percy. So I want to ask. So if anybody has any questions for Thomas or Percy, you guys can pitch into before we get to the last bit of questions. So okay, Thomas and Percy. So Thomas, we'll start with you. Are you still taking care with your coaches on like your branch line on Sodor? Because that
Oh yes, it's very important to make sure that the coaches are in good working order. Very important.
Yeah. Do you think Tom Hat's still proud of you for what you do?
I am very proud of what I do.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for me, things wouldn't get on time. There would be delays.
Yeah. All right, Thomas. So I do got some things off to show you. So here you go, Thomas. This is your book.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
Oh,
did Thomas ever say cool? He should have done.
Yeah. He would just go like bubbling boilers. He would just go bubbling boilers. That's impressive. Or like
bubbling boilers. That's impressive.
Thanks, Thomas. And yeah, this is me. This is me, Thomas. My name is Samuel Thomas, and I just wanted to say, Thomas, it is nice to meet you, Thomas, after all these years. It's great.
Such a joy to meet you, Samuel. Such a joy.
Oh, thanks. And Percy, are you still carrying the mail?
There's nothing else I can really say, but sizzling fireboxes.
That's what I feel right now.
Yeah. I wanted to say
sizzling fireboxes.
Okay, now pressing Martin to say certain lines. I didn't.
All right.
I just wanted to ask. So, Percy, are you still carrying the mail? Are you still carrying
I carry the mail every day when I get the chance.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes I have to go to Tidman's Sheds. Sometimes.
Oh, yeah. How about you? Are you and Thomas still best friends to this day? I'm sure you are.
Nothing could ever stop us from being best friends. Not even Diesel 10.
Oh yeah, Diesel 10. Yeah, Diesel 10 was a yeah. I know a lot of people said that Diesel 10 scared them as a kid, and I didn't. I didn't think he was that scary. Personally, I kind of thought Alec Baldwin's Gordon voice was a little bit scary to me as a kid.
Yeah,
Cause
I hear that.
I don't think because honestly, a lot of people thought that he made the three big heads in his very first season sound like they were like the GA word, GAY word. So that's I'm like well, I don't know.
A second.
So yeah.
It took me a second to figure out what that even was.
Yeah. Just I didn't want to break too much, but does anybody want to ask a question for Thomas or Percy before we get to the last bit of questions here from Martin? Anybody at all?
I don't really have anything.
Okay.
I'm good, honestly. Just hearing their
Okay.
voices is enough for me.
All
Me
right.
too.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, man, I do got it. So, all right, I'm gonna get to the last bit of questions. So, of course, is there anything? Can you display anything you're working on now, or what you're doing,
well,
or what you're doing, or what you're doing now? Like maybe just outside in
I
general.
mentioned wizardry, which I've been directing, and I can tell you that there are 3 different video games that will be coming out, but I can't tell you anything about what they are.
No,
Okay,
that's
yeah.
okay. That's completely
I know.
understandable.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, like, I got a bit worried because, like, the last video game that you participated on, at least up to this point, was Xenoblade Chronicles 3 when you played Teach.
Check out Chicken Police, which has come out this year,
Huh.
and it's
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia page.
good fun. Chicken Police is sort of a film noir, and I'm playing a sort of a little New York newsboy who's out there giving all the good information for all those cops out there.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
awesome.
Yeah, that
Looking
sounds like Percy a
forward
little
to
bit
that one.
too.
Yes.
Yeah, that.
Yeah. It's a hard question because I'd love to tell you about the stuff that's coming up, but I just can't.
No, it's understandable.
Or I
It's
guess
okay.
you could say it's a hard-boiled question.
Okay, you know what?
Oh my God, man, this has been just fun. Yeah, Stefan, there's the thing that Stefan can't explain either. So, yeah, because we had Stefan on back in July of 2023. So,
yeah,
Stefan was pretty cool, and yeah, he was
You
a
talking
cool
about
guy.
Steph Ashton Frank?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did things for Gumball and such like that. Do you think you may have auditioned for any of those at all, or no?
Oh yeah, I auditioned for Gumball, and I know most of the cast. In fact, one of my really good friends, Rupert Dega, was in the first season and got replaced. And he
Oh
did
my
all of those
God,
original
yes.
voices. He's good.
Yeah,
Good actor.
Rupert. Yeah, I'd like to get him on too. Yeah, he's pretty good too. Yeah, we've had quite a bit of voice actors on here, and just it's I can't get a lot of them from California though. A lot of the California ones like Tara Strong or Ray Delisle, yeah, they're pretty big. I can't get those.
I know someone who lives in California right now that I would love to have on the show.
Oh yeah, who's that? You can't say.
Let's just say he played a certain purple dinosaur.
Oh no!
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, I'll leave it at that. I mean, he's also done stuff for Chuck E. Cheese, so yeah, I like Chuck E. Cheese, so yeah, he's fine. Yeah. So yeah, just my goodness. And so, what? And if anybody wants to, voice act or do anything, and what do you think they should do? What do you think, what do you think they should do, Martin?
The first thing is that I would train as an actor. I would read the books. I would learn the skills as an actor because there's no difference between. In fact, being a voice actor is kind of in some ways more challenging than being a straight actor.
Yeah.
I would say practice as much as you can and make things. We live in a wonderful age now where if you've got a computer and a couple $100, you can get yourself a decent microphone and a decent amp, and you can start writing and making things and putting them out.
Yeah.
And it's practice, practice, practice. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and better yet, well, I'm just going to show you an example, but actually, you can always use this, like put some earbuds and then just do this, like have earbuds like a mic like I have right here.
Yeah.
So like you can do that. And yeah, I just say just practice, practice, practice,
Yeah.
practice, you'll get better. Just, keep practice. And if you want to do a podcast, I always just say you don't go too expensive. Like you just start out by
No.
just doing this. Like you do that as like you get expensive things and equipment over time. If you can start out with that, but great. But just start with just a little bit for what you can. That's always my recommendation of a
Yeah.
podcast. And
Yeah.
And don't worry, the thing that stops so many people from doing things that they love is that they worry about it being perfect. And
I'm one of those people, so
yeah.
Nothing's ever perfect, ever.
Yeah,
So just roll with it and go with it.
Yeah, I've had that happen. I've had somebody say something about my show, and that was somebody wanted to be like it was a like we suggested somebody, and some people have said that somebody they didn't like some of the quality, or they didn't like there was too much sound or whatever, and they didn't like it. They didn't like it because it was somebody here it was another voice actor who worked.
Well,
with
and
him.
Samuel, if you ever need help with sound and stuff like that, like I said, I went to college to learn how to edit stuff like this. So if you need any help, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, but with like this, what we're doing right now with this actually with my phone, it doesn't capture a lot of sound. So I'm just my phone doesn't capture a lot of sound like that.
No, of course not.
Yeah, because if you haven't listened, this actually works a lot better, and I'm actually doing what I'm doing now just by doing this, and this is great. All right, and so this is the last question before we wrap up, and then I turn off, and then I'll dismiss you after this thing gets turned off, Martin. But so this is the last thing. So this is a question I've been asking for I ask all my guests. So this is Entertainment Treasure Talk with me, Samuel Warwick, and I would like to ask. This is what I ask all my guests. What is something that is entertainment treasure to you? It can be like a certain TV show, a certain song, a certain movie, a certain video game. I don't know if you I know you voice in video games, but you don't really play them though. I don't really play them though.
I play Hearthstone.
Okay.
But I'm really busy. I'm trying to write a book, so I limit the amount of gaming that I do right now.
Okay.
But what I do is I play Dungeons and Dragons,
Oh,
and I've been playing since the 1980s. And I think that's probably my bit of cultural treasure right there.
Yeah, your little bit of nostalgic things or whatever. Yeah, I mean, there you go, Martin. Wow, I gotta say, and I do have to say, I appreciate your voice better than certainly what's now happening to Thomas. Now, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but yeah.
Let's not delve into that.
This is my show. I know. This is my show. Just relax. Understand? So yeah.
Well, thank you.
I was just
thank
gonna
you very
say.
much.
But yeah, that's all I was gonna say. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Guys. Martin, thank you so much for being here today, and a huge Sodor thank you to Thomas and Percy for being some side characters.
Yay!
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Thomas and Percy, for being here too. Just is there anything you want to say? Is there anything you want to say to your fans before you guys go?
I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching the show. It's meant a very lot to me.
Yeah, and if you did like the CGI era, well, thank you, good for you. Thank you guys so much. I'm sure.
Means a lot to us that we even managed to have you here.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah.
It means a lot here. It means a lot. And Thomas, what would you like to say to all the positive Thomas fans that just enjoyed your adventures all these years?
Keep on going.
Yes.
Good job, Thomas.
Good job, folks.
Good job, Thomas. Good job. Good
all right,
job.
guys.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna go on ahead and we'll shut this off. And thank you, Martin, once again for being here. I will shut this off, and then I will dismiss you. And
My
then,
pleasure. Lovely to meet you.
Yeah. Thank you guys, and thank you all so much for being here. And,
of course.
Thank you guys for watching this, and we should see everybody in the next episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
See you
Bye,
next time,
everybody.
guys.
Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
folks. Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. We hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, maybe you'd like to watch or hear more episodes of the show. The link to the playlist is in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more upcoming episodes. And don't forget that you're awesome and that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. See you next time for another great episode of the podcast. Peace out.